Hello and welcome to my channel, and I am Stephanie, and this is the week 1 of May wrap up. Week 1 of May consists of May the 1st through the 5th, and yes, this is late. This video is very late. I don't know if you can tell, but my allergies are kicking my ass, and it took me a little bit to record this. That's why you're seeing it on Thursday instead of Tuesday like normal. But if you haven't noticed, I am wearing one of my awesome new t-shirts. Book t-shirts. What? Love it, love it, love it. That's not what you guys came here to see today. You guys want to know what I read last week for the first week of May, right? Yes. So let's get into the books that I read. The first book I read was The Duchess War Brother Sinister #1 by Courtney Milan, and I placed this in the historical category. I gave it 3.5 stars, and I listened to it on audiobook. So these two characters, I have Minnie and I have Robert. Minnie is placed into this like kind of difficult situation, and being that it's historical, it is set back in the day. So she hides out from her supposed suitors and locks eyes with this gentleman that happens to be on the balcony of the room that she's hiding out in. And they go through this sort of back and forth banter, and I really enjoyed it, but then there were things that were missing. I didn't feel the chemistry between the two characters, and it was just okay for me. I'm not gonna not read more of Courtney's books or more books in this series, but I wasn't necessarily feeling it. I also read this book as one of the books that I read for Blackout 2018, as one of the books for for 2018 A Romance Roundabout, and also for the readathon that I'm doing this month, Chick Lit-a-thon. The next book I read was Him and Her, A Game Served Spicy by Shelby Mitchell, and I placed this book in interracial contemporary. I gave it 3 stars. I listened to it on audiobooks, and I was enjoying this story. I was. And then it kind of got twisted, and I was like, I don't know that I wasn't really feeling it. So you have our character Micah, who is a billionaire gamer, and then he meets Nori. They meet each other while he is trying to get Nori, who is the cook at a supermarket, to be his chef, his personal chef. So my flaws in this book that I did not enjoy was that both characters were pretty stereotypical, in that Micah was this like white boy that was, he just didn't feel right to me. And then Nori had her stereotypical black girl moments, and I was like, ooh, okay. At times I could relate to her, and I felt her, and I was like, yes, go Nori, go Nori, go. And then she'd do something crazy. Crazy. Then the other thing is that the second book for the series is not out on audiobook yet, so I can't read it. Looking at the reviews for this book particularly, I noticed that a lot of the reviewers that have read this book already said that there were a lot of typos in the book. Well, you know what? There weren't any typos that I could hear, and the audiobook narrator was a female, and it was told from his point of view. So it was a male point of view, told by a female. It was a little off-putting at the beginning, but then again, it sort of fit. So yeah, that's that one. The next book I read was Your Secrets Safe With Me by Phoenix Rayne, and I placed this in urban contemporary. I DNF'd this book. I listened to it on audiobook. I don't know if it was the narrator that she got, or if it was the storyline. So this story follows Cambria and Dorian. Cambria is like this straight up stereotypical hood rat. I mean, like straight up hood rat. I was like, ooh, I want to like reach through and snatch you up. I mean, I got 48% into the audiobook before I finally just could not take it anymore and DNF'd it. And then Dorian, he is a mixed character, but he is mixed with, I want to say, I don't know exactly what his father is, but his mother is African, like straight up African. And it just got really annoying to me when everything was described to me. She's wearing this Dior t-shirt and with these slingbacks, and the total cost of the outfit was $1,206. No, I don't need to know all about that. Then the sex scenes were pretty clinical and talking about his junk is so big and blah blah. Oh, that must be his black side or his African side, his African man, his African thing. I was like, I just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it any longer. Maybe it picked up at the end. Nope. The next book I read was Swing by Miasha. Miasha. I heard her name and I was saying it over and over again. But this falls into the category of, what am I throwing this in the category of? Erotica, I guess? Yeah. So I read this book for Romance Roundabout. Nope, not Romance Roundabout. For Genre-a-thon. I have so many thons going on right now. For Genre-a-thon, for Blackout 2018, because she's a black author. And I think that's it. Gave this book 3 stars, listened to it on audiobook, pushed through it. It was really, really short. So that's why it was Genre-a-thon, because Genre-a-thon is all about the short stories this month. Any book that is under 150 pages or under 6 hours on audio. So yeah. Yep. 3 stars. You follow 6 different people. 3 different, nope, not 6. There's more than 6. 8 people. 8 people, 4 couples. They all go to the swing sex club and they all have little parts that they play and the couples do their thing. Yeah. It was interesting, but it wasn't over the top, like amazing. The next book I read was Love War, a standalone romance by Cary Hart, and I placed this in contemporary. I gave this book 5 stars. I read it as an ARC, although it has been out for a while. She actually sent it to me and asked me to read it a while ago, and I finally was like, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna do it. Stephanie, why did you wait so long? I don't know why. Don't know why. She blew my socks off with this book. I absolutely love this book. This book, you have Aubrey, who is a single, newly divorced parent of a little girl that's absolutely adorable. And then you have Drew, who also is a newly divorced parent of a little girl. And they meet one day on the playground after one of the girls gets hurt. And actually, I take that back. My bad. I'm a little far into the story. They meet when Aubrey finally puts on her big girl panties and decides to go out to the club with her friend Nikki. Nikki takes her out to the club. It's called Spotlight. And the whole premise behind the club is that you get up on the dance floor and somebody will throw a spotlight on you and get your groove on. Yes. And then Drew came up and started dancing with Aubrey, right? And no names were exchanged, no nothing, just one night, one dance. Yes, right? And then, by happenstance, they meet again. And then they meet again. And then they meet again. And, you know what? They just give in and try to see how things could go. And then some shit goes down. Some shit goes down. I sort of saw the shit coming, but at the same time, I was like, must get to why this happened. Yes. So many yeses. So many yeses. I love this book. I can't wait to get to the next book. I voice messaged Cary and let her know how much I love this book. And she told me that the next 2 books in the series are both standalones as well. But you meet these, you've already met one of the characters and you meet the other character and then they're so different. And I'm just like, why did I have to read this at the end of last month or in the month that I'm supposed to be reading short books? Because both of those books are over my threshold of pages. And, but yes, I can't wait to get through the rest of those books. The next book I read was The Devil's Daughter by Katee Robert, and I placed this more in the mystery category, although I could also place it in romantic suspense. I gave this book 4 stars. I listened to it on audiobook, and you have this young woman, this young FBI agent, Eden, and she got out of her sleepy small town. Well, you also have Zach, who was the sheriff of this town, and he moved away from the big city to slow it down, get away from his past. Both of them were running away from their past, her leaving, him moving there, and then she gets called back because some things go down in the small town. And a murder happens. Well, Eden being in the FBI, she's part of BAU, so Behavior Analysis Unit with the FBI. She gets this photo of a crime scene, and she comes home. Well, come to find out, her mom still lives there and still has some power over some things that are going on. Some things happen. There's a mystery there. There's a dead person. So, yeah. It was very interesting and very intriguing. I enjoyed it. I do look forward to getting to the other 2 books in this series. Even though they don't follow Eden and Zach, I do want to find out what those are all about. And the reason I take it sort of out of the romantic suspense category and place it into the mystery category more is I didn't necessarily feel Zach and Eden's chemistry at all. I felt the mystery, and I felt the thrill, and I felt the suspense, but I didn't feel the romance. Also, I read that book for Romance Roundabout for mystery, and I think that's it. And then the last book I read for the week of May the 1st through the 5th was The Real by Kate Stewart. I actually started this book last month and finished it this last week, and I placed this in contemporary. I only give it 3.75 stars. I read it as an arc, and I feel so bad because I love Kate Stewart's writing. I absolutely adore Kate Stewart's writing. This book just wasn't speaking to me at all whatsoever. So you have Abby, who has been through some things, and she doesn't necessarily want to engage with anyone on the relationship tip. And then you have Cameron, who is sort of in the same boat, and he is like, okay, I see this woman in the coffee shop and I kind of want to get to know her. So they speak or something or another, not FaceTime. They message each other. They go old school and use their Macs to speak to each other or something or another, and start having coffee dates on Saturdays and, sort of get to know each other. And then some other things happen, and then it was super slow for me. I almost DNF'd it at the 40% mark, but I love Kate. And I wanted to finish reading her book. So I finished it, and I'm still sort of on the fence on my feelings on that. So that is what I read last week for week 1 of May. Have you read any of those books? Let me know down in the comments. Also, know that I will probably be having another video up here shortly, but know that I am involved with Buzzwordathon, which is another readathon that I'm doing. And yeah, that's taken a lot of time because the buzzword is girl, and I have a lot of books that I want to get through that have the word girl in them. So that's it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.